Hey guys, welcome. We're glad you're hanging out with us. We're fixing to get started. We're doing prayer groups tonight as always. So if you have something you want me to pray about, I would love it if you would text that to me. My number is 520-335-7425. Again, text that to me. We'd love to pray for you. But we're glad you're here. We're going to get rolling just in a couple seconds. Y'all get ready. Here we go. So. Oh my God. All right, guys, what's up? Hey, awesome, we're live. Good work, Jordan. Thank you, sir. Hey, y'all, welcome to Midweek. I'm glad you're here. Howdy indeed. Thank you, Brighton. That's excellent. So I need a cool story or two or three. What's happening? AISD, you're back in school now. I would imagine you've got at least one or two stories, but what's happening this week? Anything cool?
No, I was wondering. Okay, so in one of my classes that I've had like 2 years,
Yeah.
I just, it's like a new day, so I just get like upset, because I don't want to, and I just lay on the floor.
Okay.
So I got there yesterday and I was like, man, I missed the floor, and I just laid on the floor.
All right. Did your teacher understand what you were doing, or just?
No, he thinks I'm absolutely insane, but the floor is just, it's different. I just can't explain it.
Okay, that's cool. Well, you have plenty of room in the floor, as I understand, right?
Yeah.
That's good. Awesome. So when I say this statement to you, you have the floor, that means something entirely different for you. You're like, thank you. Like, I like this floor. Okay, that's good to know. AJ, what do you got? You got your car back. Very good. Congratulations. It's how long is it gonna last this time, AJ? Probably till a long time. That's a good differentiation time. Thank you. I appreciate that. Awesome. Good job. Glad you get your car back. What else? Jackson. Congratulations. That's exciting. Yeah, so don't start that trend back, okay? All right, good. What you got? Cambry. Okay. For real?
And then finally, 5 periods ago, his classroom, wearing the gas mask, and then he took it off. And I was like, oh, so it was just a joke. He's like, what's my joke?
I think that's funny. No? The gas mask. Wow. What you got, Riley?
So I spent some time with my older sister.
Yeah. How'd that go?
We both fell down a cliff. We watched 3 horror movies and went to the cemetery.
Nice.
In that order?
No. So 1 horror movie, cliff. 2 more horror movies, cemetery.
Okay.
Then boat ride.
That is a trend. Like, there you go. Okay. Do I even want to know which horror movies you watched?
Oh, we watched Insidious.
Insidious? Like the first one?
We watched all the first 3.
The whole trilogy.
Yeah.
You got all sorts of fun stuff in your head right now. Sweet. There you go. Cool. Good. Nobody messed with Riley tonight. Okay. Good. All right. Last call. Anybody else? Cool stories. No. All right. Cool. Let's jump into announcements. We're gonna get into prayer groups, and I have a plan on my lesson. It's probably gonna take longer than I want it to, but it's gonna be really, really good. Okay. Let's get rolling. Guys, some of the announcements that you've heard before. I promise. The whole "don't move your chairs" thing, that is coming to an end soon. If this is important, okay? if things continue to go well in Arlington, like for instance, Jackson said there's no more COVID cases at my school. That's awesome. AISD's back in school. I think I heard like since school started, there's been a total of 6 cases. So that's really, really helpful considering there's, I think, 75,000 AISD students. So that's pretty good. Anyway, guys, another week or two, and this is coming to an end, I promise. So keep being patient. I'm really, really proud of you for being patient. I promise I don't like any more than you do, but we're almost done. So thanks for being compliant on that. Everything else has been really, really good. Because the LC is closing on Wednesday nights earlier, keep bringing a mask with you just in case that changes. That being said, when we're the only ones in the building, you don't have to wear a mask at all, so that's nice. And that's, I'm not gonna. If you want to wear a mask, that's great. I'm not gonna force you to either way. We're just glad you're here. All right. So there's that. Oh, you guys whose parents are connection group leaders, whether they're a youth connection group leader or if they're adult connection group leader, I have a notebook for you, actually for your parents. Hey guys. That I need you to take home for me. So please, 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 if your parents are connection group leader or even like part-time connection group leaders, be sure and check in with me. I want to send a notebook home with you for your parents. Just deliver that to them and all will be well, okay? New Testament Challenge, we've been giving you that calendar. If you don't have a New Testament Challenge calendar, we'd love to give you one. Guys, by the end of the year, if you jump into this, we will have read the entire New Testament this year, which is really, really cool, okay? So if you want one of those calendars, let me know. We'll get that to you. It's just one chapter a day. It's super easy, and we're getting to some of the really, really fun stuff too. So connection groups are happening. We will be outside this coming Sunday, and if everything goes right, we will not be outside on Sunday mornings anymore. So that's coming to an end really, really soon too. If not this next Sunday, then the Sunday after that. So really, like we're less than 3 weeks away from being indoors all the time, and that's nice. The new classrooms are finished, so that's cool, and got some great teachers too. So anyway, just a heads up about it, okay? Keep sending us your schedules. I want to come watch you play ball or volleyball or see you sing or do your job or cat dad for swim meet today. I know that there's a lot of like new rules on who can come and who can't, and I understand that. So if you're allowed to have fans and aren't your parents, seriously, send me and or Kate a schedule because we want to come watch you do your thing. And if you just have a job, we'd love to come buy a milkshake or a hamburger or whatever it is, a pair of tennis shoes or whatever it is you do. I actually do need some tennis shoes, obviously. So if you're a shoe salesman, let me know. I want to get helped out, okay? We want a selfie of you for our prayer wall, too. My phone number's fixing to be up there. Just take a picture of yourself. We print those out, put them on our prayer walls, pray for you every day. Miss Susan would love to pray for you. She has loved all the text messages she's got from y'all this semester, so keep that up. There's Miss Susan's number if you want to pray for her. Join the Remind, just so you can get messages about what's going on. If you've got a cell phone, send a text to 81010 that says @TLCUTH. And you'll be able to stay up to speed with everything. There's our phone numbers. If you don't remember all the stuff we just told you, that's fine. You can say, hey, I don't remember announcements. That happens a lot. That's okay. Me or Kate, we can fill you in on what's going on. And then if you're just bored and want to say, hey, we'd love to do that too, okay? I think that's all our announcements tonight, right? Very cool. Thanks, Jordan. All right, so here's our going to do prayer groups tonight. I'm going to keep it really, really simple. Front row, side to side, y'all are a prayer group. Y'all are going to be over there in that corner. Second row, y'all are a prayer group. Y'all are going to be right here in the middle. Third row, y'all are going to be over there on that end. Fourth row, y'all are going to be back there in the corner by the sink. And then fifth row, y'all are going to be back there by the foosball table. Y'all are prayer groups. If you don't know what prayer groups mean, that's okay. Just walk to that corner I pointed you to. It'll make sense when you get there, okay? We're glad you're here. Great.
I just want to try.
Oh, our groups are going to be really
I can talk. Nobody followed the prayer.
I know she really wants us to be happy.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kinsey. Happy birthday to you. So I only got lost a dozen times on a race. I'm one of the cheat hole. I didn't even know that existed. Hold on. And I work out in Irish rights and that.
I did that.
I was also 2 hours after I went to the dermatologist and not. Always.
I
was genuinely questioning. I was like, aren't you amazing? No, I'm not saying everybody has to. It doesn't happen
Very cool for one. What's your name? How do you say it?
Yeah. Can I read it? I forgot.
Hey, TJ.
No, there's such a
No.
it's awesome.
You know, it's like, how do you spell your name?
That's how you
Like,
spell it.
TJ.
I never told you to spell your name. No, T-E-E.
Oh, that was cute. I like
Very fitting.
Real trick is if you have someone's name, you have to say what's your name, and they go, after they say your name, say your name. Okay.
Then they just think you're stupid for not knowing what's your last name.
Or they'll be like,
It's better than the offer, like, you forgot my
I just say how do you spell it? I feel like you get it.
Where I was like, I
Yeah, I always say how do you spell it. Again, it's really stupid when somebody's like, it's like, yeah, how to spell it.
Or you just say, like, man, down.
Hey, buddy. Hey, pal.
I can stress like, they haven't seen a funeral. And they're all walking up to me, they're like, are you okay? It's like, I'm here for family support.
Now I'm hanging with the stoners. You need to go to school. But guys, you guys are really good.
It's like, oh, leave it.
I am. Hi, Claire. See, this is how I really want to be.
We're on the far left side. When Jacob works together,
No, on the other day, I just hear a bit.
that's horrible.
Yeah. How do you spell your name?
Oh, look at that.
I don't know how to spell
You totally butchered it.
I just said, I know how to spell his name.
Actually, I just know.
It's like
RHYLE.
I really did. I want them to wear my
She texted me that too. Yeah. It's okay. I spelled the name wrong once too. I spelled right. She goes S-I.
That's the only
So fun. I mean, it was done within the first 2 minutes, but still.
School. Wait, when are we starting? 65.
That's not bad at all.
When are we gonna start? What player? What player? How does someone have that? I'm not succeeding. Brighton.
Her dad, you have to be You're definitely not his favorite. Well, I meant. So hard.
Oh, no.
It's like strawberries. He loves her. I love how I always spelled it wrong right on my hand. Okay, who wants to pray? Kinsey wants to pray. Hey, what were you talking about? Hey, what were you talking about? That one little child? I was so proud. The things that happen on the car right now. Okay, we actually have fun. It's also a good I don't see it.
Adam Williams.
Okay, we're ready. All right, the faster you hit, the faster you hit. It's not how we do it. That's not the way we do it. Okay, all right. Hey, guys. Thank you so much for today.
Hey again, guys. We're glad you're here. Prayer groups are almost over, but if there's something that I can pray for you about, I would sure love to do that. So if you've got a cell phone and you want to text me, you can send that to 520-335-7425, and I would love to pray for you. We're going to get started here in a couple of minutes. I'm glad y'all are here. Hang tight.
Well over 100,000.
That's
There's a lot for us. We're like 200.
TikTok star.
It's not gonna have to be in the conversation. I have this pile of those.
She wearing a Martin shirt? No.
Sean and Stacey probably.
I had the whole
Very rarely entirely. More directions. I know. I agree strongly. Hold on, let's
Howdy, y'all. God Almighty, great I am, who is excited. God Almighty, great I am. Won't believe into your heart, love you. I want to see dry roses in you. See the best room. God Almighty, great I am.
Mountains shake before me, the tears run free. At the mention of your name, King of Majesty, there is no power in death, no any who can stand before the power and the presence of the great I am. Great I am. Great I Holy, holy, God Almighty. Great I am, who is worthy, none beside you, God Almighty. Great I am, great I am. There is no power in death, no any who can stand before the power and the presence of the great I am. 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 Hallelujah. Holy, holy, God Almighty. Great I am. Worthy, none beside me. God Almighty. Great I am. Great I before I could before my first cry, you knew me, get me together. I was designed. You knew me. You know what I wonder I could see before my first thoughts. You knew me. You see what I'm dreaming. I go to sleep. I'm waking up. You know me. And I could run away, go hide beneath the sea. You can still hear my prayer. I could find the peace, but I'd be on the deep. You are always there, trapped in the heavens, care for my soul. All of your ways, your holy. When I'm lost in darkness, far from my home, hand guides my way and holds me. I could run away, go hide beneath the street. You still hear my prayer. I could find the peace, but I'm beyond the sea. Oh my God, you are there. You are the God who knows and loves me. The God of David, the rock of ages. You are the King who dwells in me. King of Zion, mighty lion. You are the God who knows and loves me. The God of David, the rock of ages. The King who dwells in me. The King of Zion, the mighty lion. Oh. With me always, I won't be afraid. You're with me always, you're with me always. You died and rose and set the world ablaze. Amazing grace, redemption in motion. And I will see you when I fly away to the gates of heaven, where I'll see your face. Holy Jehovah, Alpha Omega. You died and rose and set redemption in motion. Holy Jehovah, Alpha Omega. You died and rose and set redemption in motion.
Real fast, yeah, go ahead and grab a seat. We're fixing to watch something while that's getting set up. Does anybody know what that last song is called, or more importantly, where it comes from? No. If you say the Bible, you're not wrong, but that's not the answer I'm looking for. Okay, that's all. You're also not wrong, but not right. No. No, it comes from the book of Psalms.
Oh,
Okay. So you're halfway there. Yeah. Psalm 139. All right, so here's your homework. I'm going to read Psalm 139, and you go to YouTube and Google the song, Psalm 139. You can see how well those two things go together. Really, really good. Okay, check out this video that I'm going to teach. Jump in.
Before fluorescent formations ever fomented the foundations of your firmament, that is, before the stars in your sky ever entered existence, before the light knew what bright meant, before the sky had a clue where up went, before either were ever invented, I am. Before terrestrial perennials terraced your planet's territorial terrain, that is, before the plants in your ground were ever ordained, before roots were ever arranged, before fruit had a taste, before either had a name, I am. Before the ocean had a bowl, before the surf discovered its role, before the grave was made Sheol, before man had a soul, I am. Before Eden was installed, before the garden serpent crawled, before the tree, before the fall, I am. For I am truth before there ever could be false. I am perfection before there ever could be faults. I am by all, in all, through all in all, and I am to be called. I am. Before the curse usurped the ground and drove you away from the divine. Before you felt this separation between who you are and the intention of your design. Before you tried to abide in sources of death in order to find life. Before you combined yourself with any form of pleasure you could find. Before you felt so alone, before you felt so dry, before you tried to run away from my side, I am the vine. Before the cherubim ever guarded the garden, before the flaming sword was ever sharpened, before that chasm between God and man was ever widened, before you lost all hope in becoming a citizen of heaven, before all you earned was endless fame, before all you deserved was righteous pain, before you were a sheep hoping not just to be some lion's prey, before you were a lost lamb longing for a pen, longing to escape your fate, I am the gate. Before sustenance turned to gluttony and food became an enemy. Before attraction was based on anatomy and sex was removed from matrimony. Before money became morality and greed grew into the only causality. Before you were empty without me. Before you tried to satisfy your appetite with anything. Before you strive to feel alive by filling your strife with the fleeting vices of your fleshly devices. Before your hunger for relief left pangs in your side, I am the bread of life. Before you became acquainted with pain and death. Before you ever tasted loneliness. Before disease destroyed what you possessed. Before eyes could go blind. Before ears could go deaf. Before you lost the one you love to the grave's unyielding cleft, I am. For before mankind stopped living so that they might just survive, I am the resurrection and the life. Before that sadness that grips your mind led you to darkness and thoughts of suicide. Before that distortion of man hurt you so that you now hurt yourself. Before you knew razors and wrists could create a new hell. Before those wounds turned to scars and those scars became a way of life, I am the light. For before you even knew how to sin, I am where your salvation begins. For before you withdrew from the path of my way, before you willfully and joyously disobeyed, before you betrayed the gift that I gave of that breath in your lungs, that life in your airways, by saying no to my love and yes to your heresy, before you engaged with the enemy, waged in sin with intensity, before you drained my supremacy, inflamed my jealousy, before you chose greed over my adequacy, lies over my accuracy, pride over my advocacy, before you chose your sinful self over me, I am the good shepherd who lays down his life for his sheep. For before you were a spotted lamb, I am. For I am the way before you could ever run away from my call. I am the truth before you can ever walk away from my law. I am the life before you can ever turn away from my cross at Golgotha's skull. So I beg you now to withdraw. Withdraw from your sin, for I am your only temptation. Withdraw from yourself, for I am making you a new creation. Withdraw from your pride, for I am ruining your reputation. Withdraw from your self-righteousness, for I am your only mediation. Withdraw from your hopes and dreams, for I am your only expectation. Withdraw from your life, for I am your crucifixion. For before all time, I am all sufficient. Before all titles and designations, to my name alone did the cosmos listen. For I am Jesus, I am the Word, I am Elohim, I am the Lord, I am the Christ, I am Messiah, I am Creator, I am Jehovah Jireh. I'm the Lamb of God, I am Emmanuel, I'm the begotten Son, I am the Holy One of Israel. I am the first fruits, I am the Prince of Peace, I am the bridegroom, I am the King of Kings. I'm the God of Abraham, I'm the God of Jacob, I am the Alpha, I am the Omega. I'm the Holy One worthy of praise. So withdraw into my side, withdraw and be made mine, withdraw and with me stay, withdraw into my way.
Woo! Let's see what? The comment? Yeah, there's a bunch of comments on there. Guys, I love that video. I've showed that to you tonight because it's a really cool summation of the book of John. We're going to finish up John tonight. The book of John, we're talking about, John says at the end of the book, well, almost in the book, chapter 20, the very last verse, said, I wrote this so that you would believe. Believe what? That Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God. Right? Well, all throughout the book of John, Jesus reveals himself really in 6 or 7 different ways, but he always has these cool I am statements. And all of the I am statements were summarized in that video, but Jesus is a number of things, but the best way to put it is just simply Jesus is I am. Now, does anybody know where the phrase I am comes from? Where in the Bible specifically? When did I am first pop up? What do you got, Eli? Very good. Yes. Did Moses come up with that? No. God told him to tell who I am. God comes to Moses in a burning bush. He says, hey, Moses, I want you to tell Pharaoh, let my people go. Bush talking to me, he doesn't go, why is this bush burning but not really burning? He says, okay, God, who do I tell Pharaoh is sending me? And God responds with this. He says, you tell Pharaoh that I am. Now, if we read that in English, they're like, what? That's not a complete sentence. It's not a complete statement. That doesn't make sense. Tell Pharaoh I am.
Tell Pharaoh I am. You send me I am.
No. Seriously. In Hebrew, the proper translation is I am the one that is. So no kidding. Moses is standing in front of Pharaoh. And I'm sure Moses, who would have known Pharaoh, he'd known his whole life. You guys know that they on his brother. Walks into Pharaoh's court and then kind of she will imply that Moses had a speech impediment, or at least in his head, he got a speech. I'm not convinced that he did. But anyway, Moses walks into Pharaoh, the most powerful man on the planet, and says, you need to let my people go. Who are your people? All your slaves. Those are my family. Why should I let them go? Because I was told to tell you this. Who told you this? My God did. Who's your God? My God is I am. Huh? But watch this. Watch this. And this is part of this is just my brain and how it works. When I picture God, and I can't definitively tell you this is how it played out. But I would not be surprised at all that the second Pharaoh said, who is your God? Moses is down in front of Pharaoh's court saying, he's I am. But God the Father stood up from the throne, and said, I am his God. And you don't recognize me yet, but I'm your God too. I am the God of everything. All the puny little things that you worship, they're nothing. I am it. I am the God of everything. I am the one that is. That is part, that means that I've always been and I'm always going to be. Long after you're dead, I'm still going to be here. When Moses is gone, I'm still going to be here. When Moses' kids are gone, I'm still going to be here. I am the one that is. And by the way, the same God always is. He's revealed himself to us over time, and so we see new things about him. But it's not like God has changed. He's always had these characteristics. We just learned them. And that's not entirely hard to understand because we understand what it means to grow in knowledge of the same subject. You guys understand more about science now than you did when you were second graders, right? As you grow, you come to bigger understandings of it. By the way, your knowledge of each other has grown. You know new things about each other you didn't know 4 or 5 years ago, right? So, of course, we're going to continue to learn new things about God and his characteristics. It doesn't mean he's changed. It just means we finally come to understand this. So God has never changed. That's the point. You guys with me? Now look at John 21. We're going to do this fast. This is cool. John chapter 21 is like a prologue from the book of John. Because it really, it's like 21. Yeah, verse 21. No, sorry. I can't read. Verse 31 of chapter 20. That's a really good the end for the book of John. I wrote all this stuff to you so that you would believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, that you would follow him. The end. Okay, that makes sense. But then John goes, but hang on, I want to tell you one more story. Oh, good. I like a good story. Let me tell you about Peter. This is good. Check it out.
After this, Jesus revealed himself, verse 1, again to the disciples by the Sea of Tiberias, also known as the Sea of Galilee. He revealed himself in this way. Simon Peter, Thomas called the twin, Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and 2 others of his disciples, Jesus' disciples specifically, were together. And Peter said to them, I'm going fishing. So they said to him, well, we'll go with you. And they went out and they got in the boat, but that night they did not catch anything. Does this sound familiar?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
That's.
Hang on. I'm sorry. What did you say?
So they weren't very good.
They were. Every time we see these guys fishing in the Bible, they're not catching jack. That's pretty interesting. We're about to read is almost verbatim how it went down the day these guys met Jesus. Specifically, how Peter met Jesus. Andrew had already met Jesus, but Peter had not, and this was Jesus' introduction to him. By the way, I don't know if it's the same spot they met Jesus, but it was the same sea, and they were in the same region where it all went down. And you're going to hear me say the word "same" a lot tonight. That's really important because God is what? Bingo. Very good. Keep rolling. Verse 4. Just as day was breaking, Jesus stood on the shore, yet the disciples did not know that it was Jesus. By the way, just a heads up, you don't know what's going on. Jesus has died on the cross. He's now risen. And he's already appeared to the disciples twice now. One time, I bet you anything, they all pooped themselves. Because it was the night that Jesus rose from the dead. They were all in a room, kind of scared and freaking out and praying together. And literally, Jesus just, poof, shows up, right? Like he didn't walk in the door, hey guys, what's up? He just showed up. I bet you anything, at least 2 of them pooped themselves. I just guarantee it, all right? And then he did it again like a week later. Because Thomas wasn't there that day. So Peter has seen Jesus twice, and Jesus had already told him, hey, go to Galilee. So he goes to Galilee. Galilee's in northern Israel. It's where most of these guys are from. And he says, just wait for me. So they get up in Galilee, and all of a sudden Peter says, well, I guess we can go fishing. And all the disciples, not all of them, at least 5 of them are like, okay, yeah, let's go do that. What did they do for a living before this point? Okay, so literally I want you, this is not insignificant, okay? Fishing for them wasn't like the hobby. We're like, okay, I'm bored. Let's go fishing, right? This was their job. If you didn't catch this, here's what's going on. Something has clicked in Peter's brain, or unclicked rather, and he said, I need to go back to my old life. Even though Jesus has given me a new life and told me what I'm supposed to be doing now, I'm going to go back to my old life. So he goes back to fishing, and he tells his disciples what they're doing. And because Peter was kind of like an official leader, several of them were like, okay, yeah, we'll go back to our old life too. That sounds problematic. Why was he leader? He was the oldest one of the bunch.
Why does that matter?
It doesn't matter, except for he's the oldest one of the bunch. Now, think about it from this standpoint, okay? Most of the disciples were teenagers. So if the adult of the group says, hey, I'm going to go do this, they're going to go do the same thing. Okay? All right, that's not a bad question. That's good. All right, keep rolling. Jesus is now standing on the shore. They're fishing. They're not catching any fish. They see this dude on the shore, but they don't realize it's Jesus. That part just cracks me up. Like, they have apparently a terrible vision, too. I say that. It says they were 100 yards away. That's not the easiest thing in the world. It's not like Jesus was wearing an I'm Jesus t-shirt. So, verse 7. The disciple whom Jesus loved therefore said to Peter, no, hang on one second. No, Jesus said to them, children. By the way, that children, that actually means, hey, little kids. Yeah, like it's not like, hey, hey, boy. It really is like, hey, little dudes. It's almost like he's sort of making fun of him. I don't know that he really is, but that word children, that just means like little guys, right? So, hey, children, do you have any fish? No. Right? And they said to them, cast the net on the right side of the boat and you will find some. Which, that's not how fishing works, right? Unless you're Jesus, just because I didn't catch one on this side of the boat, I don't know that I'm going to catch one on this side of the boat unless I'm the Son of God and can tell fish what to do, which is what Jesus did. He said to these little fish, hey, little fish, there's a net right there. I know that, you're fish. You probably don't know what that net means, but go swim in that net. And because he's the God of the universe, the fish said, yes, sir, and they went, right? So they cast their net, and it says 153 fish were caught in the net. They pulled that up into the boat, which would have been crazy heavy. And then it says the disciple whom Jesus loved, it cracks me up. John's writing the book, and this is how he refers to himself. I'm the one that Jesus loves, right? Have you ever heard somebody say that I'm Jesus' favorite?
Sometimes I say that. I don't say it often. But today I'm Jesus' favorite, right? Like y'all would go, whatever, right? This is what John does all the time. I'm the one that Jesus loves. It says that John said, it's the Lord. And Peter went, it is the Lord. Now, Peter is kind of dense sometimes, but do you think his brain was kind of like on overload? The day he met Jesus, this is the exact scenario that happened. Exactly. And John, who, by the way, is significantly younger than Peter, figured it out before Peter did. Okay? But he says, it's the Lord. And Peter goes, awesome. And he just jumps in the water and swims to shore, 100 yards away. That's not a small swim. He swims ashore, jump in and look at verse 9. When they got on the land, they saw a charcoal fire in place with fish laid on it and bread. Now, that sentence alone right there, okay, cool. Like Jesus is making a breakfast. Awesome. I don't know that I've ever had fish for breakfast, but I'd be willing to give it a shot. Certainly if I was hungry and had nothing to eat and failed at my job, I'd eat anything at that point. But here's, like, just again, small phrases that if you're not paying attention, if you don't read the Bible closely, it's going to mean nothing. It says a charcoal fire. Literally, it's just a fire pit. And, you know, they didn't have a trash can or whatever, right? Just a little fire pit, charcoal on there burning. This was exactly the kind of fire that Peter was standing around whenever he denied Jesus 3 times. In fact, the exact same phrase. This is the same spot, but the exact same phrase is used. Peter is warming himself around a charcoal fire the night that Jesus died. Remember, by the way, did Peter just randomly deny Jesus? No. Jesus told him that he was going to deny him. Peter was like, no, I'd never do that. 1, 2, 3, done. All 3 times, by the way, he was standing around the fire. The last person to say, hey, you know Jesus, right, was a family member of the dude that Peter cut his ear off. Which makes sense why he freaked out and ran away at that point, right? 3 times he denied Jesus. Standing around a fire. All of a sudden, he walks up to Jesus. Jesus is standing around the same kind of fire that Peter had, well, not the last time he saw Jesus, but the spot where Peter had denied Jesus. Again, do you think his brain's freaking out a little bit? Yeah. I'm certain it is. Verse 10, Jesus said to them, bring some fish you've just caught. Then Simon Peter went aboard, and they hauled the net ashore full of large fish, 153 of them. And although there were so many, the net was not torn. Jesus said to them, come and have breakfast. Now none of the disciples dared to ask him, who are you? They just said, a funny line. Don't know why that's there, but it's there. They knew it was the Lord. Jesus came, they took the bread, they gave it to him, and so it was with the fish. This was now the 3rd time that Jesus had been raised from the dead. It's pretty odd. Like, we just stopped right there and be like, wow, what a good story. It doesn't stop there. This is actually the point of the chapter. We're going to do this with that. When they finished breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? Now, the these there, this is an important word. Do you love me more than these? It's not, do you love me more than everybody else here? Because if he'd said that, John would have stood up and go, no, I do, because you love me, right? He's actually pointing to the fish. Hey, Simon, you love me more than fish? Now, again, that sounds like a really dumb statement, except what does Simon Peter do? Fishing. And what did I say? What did Peter do before he met Jesus? Fish. This was his livelihood. This is what he knew how to do. It's what his daddy taught him to do. Okay? That was something he took seriously. Again, he was awful at it or whatever. So Jesus says, hey, Peter, dude, do you love me more than fish? Like all of us would go, well, yeah, I love Jesus more than fish. That's easy. But it's a little bit different. Like if I change it to, hey, do you love Jesus more than music? Changes up now, right? Amelia, do you love Jesus more than volleyball? Brighton, do you love Jesus more than acting?
She's not great.
I called Zoe Ashley earlier. I'm sorry. Brooklyn, do you love Jesus more than acting? Ryan, do you love Jesus more than football? All you baseball guys, you love Jesus, right? One of myself, do you love Jesus more than what? TJ, do you love Jesus more than you love Texas?
No.
Stakes are getting high, real. All of a sudden, that question that seems silly to us, but to Peter, that would have been like, oh, that's really big. But look what Peter says. And he's right in front of Jesus, so maybe it's a little bit easier to say.
Of course I love you, Lord. You know that I love you. So Jesus says to him, feed my lambs. Okay, where's your lambs at? Sure, no problem. But he doesn't stop there. Then Jesus said to him a second time, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Notice Jesus changes the way he addresses him sometimes too. Simon, son of John, do you love me? He said to him, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. So then Jesus said, tend to my sheep. Take care of them. Then he said a third time, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter was grieved because he said to him a third time, do you love me? He said, Lord, you know everything. He did. Peter recognized, Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you. Jesus said, this feels like a weird conversation, right? You ever had anybody ask you the same question 3 times in a row? Besides, like, little bitty kids.
Yes.
Actually, little bitty kids. Like, just, and I'm not necessarily talking about, like, old people that can't remember anything. Being and asking the same thing. Maybe just over the course of one day, that would be annoying. Like 3 times within the span of a few seconds. This is weird. Except it's not weird when you remember, how many times did Peter deny Jesus? 3. And what specific question is Jesus asking Peter right now? Do you love me? It's not, do you know me? It's not, hey, we're tight, right? It's not even, hey, Peter, are you sorry for what you did? It's, do you love me? Just by the way, say you have a best friend, and I'm sure all of you do. If your best friend heard you say, I didn't even know that. My thumb off. I don't even know you, man. Would that maybe change the dynamic of you and your best friend's friendship if you overheard your best friend saying, I don't know who you are to someone else? Yeah, for sure. No, they're not joking. But that's a fair question, right? Yes, that's going to change the dynamic. But here's what's cool about Jesus, guys. Here's what I got to catch this, okay? Here's what's going to happen. Jesus asks him this statement 3 times in a row. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Peter says, I love you. Yes, you know that I love you. Yes. And then it says like he gets irritated. Not probably the greatest thing to do with Jesus, right? Yes, Lord, you know I love you. And all 3 times, notice that Jesus doesn't say, I know. Although Jesus did. He actually tells Peter to go do the things that he already taught Peter to do. Because he just spent the last 3.5 years teaching Peter how to be a fisher of men, right? Remember that statement? Follow me, I'll make you a fisher of men. It's not just like I just want you to catch them and then see what happens. I want you to catch them and teach them to follow me. And the people that are following Jesus describes them as his sheep. And so he tells Peter, hey, I'm getting ready to leave. I'm leaving you and the rest of these guys too, but you specifically right now, I'm leaving you to take care of my sheep. And yes, you did something incredibly stupid, and it hurt me, and it was sinful, and it was awful, and it was bad, but you know what? I love you, and I forgive you, and I still want you to do the things that I've taught you how to do. And just so that you know, like I mean this, I'm going to tell you that 3 times in a row. So, let me come out from a different. How many times a day? Actually, just raise your hand if it's more than once. Okay, good. I'm going to show you something. We're almost done. So years ago, when my kids were still little, they're still kind of little now, they were really little then, there was one particular Saturday where all 3 of them were acting like godless little heathens. Okay? Yeah, it was not a good day at all. All 3 of them, none of them were even remotely angelic that day. It was bad. And so there was fussing and spanking and arguing and fighting. And the day ended, well, the day hadn't totally ended yet. The day, like even before supper time, there was just lots of tears from mom and children. And daddy was pretty aggravated. And so supper time was kind of awkward. You guys ever had those like dinners? Yeah. Like, we're doing this as a family, but I'm not happy about it, right? Okay, so I made a decision, you know what? Because I don't like awkward, y'all don't either. So you know what? We're just going to go out. We're going to go somewhere. We ended up at Hobby Lobby. Right?
That's the place to be.
Yeah.
ended up at Hobby Lobby. And we're kind of laughing a little bit in the car. We're singing, and so the ice is kind of breaking. But also, though, like one of my kids in particular is still just kind of like, right, because they got in trouble, and that just really hurts their heart when they get in trouble. And so there's still just like a lot of sadness. And so Becca and I, at this point, are figuring out, okay, like, it's time to remind our children that we love them and it's going to be okay. And yesterday was incredibly frustrating, but I still love you, kind of thing. Well, we walk into Hobby Lobby and we find these signs. And this was not the goal. I did not know these were there. But no kidding, it was on, like, when you walk in a Hobby, like, there's a stand, like, right there in front of the door with all sorts of good, like, this was on the front stand when you walk in the door, and there was a whole mess of just this sign. And all this sign is I will always, always love you. And it says it over and over and over and over and over again. And Becca and I just cried. And we bought 3 of them. And all 3 of my children have this sign hanging over their bed, because no matter how good or bad the day went, my children need to know at the end of the day, your daddy will always, always love you. The chances are good, y'all know this, as they get older, they're probably going to screw up more, not less, right? I hope not. I hope not. We're teaching them not to. But even if they screw up less, not more, chances are really good there's going to be an epic day of meltdowns coming. And when that day happens, my children need to know as much in that moment as they know right now. Their daddy will always, always love them. Here's the point. This was Jesus, and I don't know how soon this is before he's ascending back to the Father, but he's saying to Peter, dude, yes, you blew it. It was awful, but I will always, always, always love you. I will always forgive you. I will always make a way for you that I continue to have a relationship, and you are always going to have this job I've trained you for. And your job is to serve me and to follow me and to do the things I've taught you to do. And also to tell other people this exact same thing that I'm telling you. Keep telling people that I will always, always, always love them. And he does. Because he's not, he was, he's not, he is going to be, he is right now. He is the God who is always, always, always loving us. And that's pretty good sticking news, right? Amen. Lord Jesus, thank you for today. Lord, bless your words and hearts and minds of your students on our own. Father, may your words, not mine, penetrate and change. Thank you for today. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for always making a way for us to come back. We love you, Father. In Jesus' name we pray. Guys, if you would stack your chairs for me, and I'll see you next week. I love y'all.
Hey guys, I'm glad you're out with me tonight. We'll talk to you soon. Sure, you can say hi. Everyone say hi.
Hi.